Welcome to the desert of the real.
Welcome to the desert of the real. I'm your host, Jason Dietz, and joined with me is your other longer than it has to be host,
Ryan Hudson.
The Desert of the Real is a movie podcast. In this case, it's a Jason's Choice, where I force Ryan to watch movies that he hasn't had time to, hasn't thought about, or really just was turning up his snobby nose at. Except for this case. In this case, we watched Interstellar, and largely this episode is dedicated to my students. Because for years I have had students beg me to watch this movie. And so this episode came about not because of Ryan's snobbery, but because my students were consistent in their requests. So, we are two English language arts high school teachers with graduate degrees, and we attempt to use our academic training to dig deeply into movies. We explore the creativity, the philosophy, the film studies, and the ethics in our films, and we push our listeners to think critically about their entertainment. We, once again, are very grateful for you listening, for coming to join us. You being there means that we continue to be here and doing what we love, which is arguing. And also watching movies, but mostly arguing and watching movies. So, this week we watched Interstellar, which is my favorite director, Chris Nolan, probably a lot of people's favorite director. And I have to be honest, this is not my favorite Chris Nolan movie.
What is your favorite?
Inception.
Inception's good.
No. Inception, I would say, is perfect.
Okay, well, does he have a bad movie?
Well, no, not really that I've seen.
Well,
but
okay.
This is not in my top 5.
5 Nolan films?
Yeah.
What are in your top 5 Nolan films, Deeds? Well, let's go back. He did a couple short films in film school. I've seen one of them called Tarantula. It's funny because it's weird. It's not funny because it's supposed to be funny. It's funny that, look, there's young Christopher Nolan.
Memento. Oh, wait, I have to revise. You just asked me what my favorite top 5 are. Okay. I'm going to say my favorite one is Inception, followed by Memento, and then The Dark Knight. Batman. No. Dang it. It's hard.
It's hard. He's got
Inception and Memento are the top 2. And then there's like The Dark Knight, The Prestige, and Batman Begins would be my top 5.
The Dark Knight trilogy, it might be in our podcast future.
I would not mind that. I would not mind rewatching any Nolan movie.
I just wanted to say Nolan, his first film was called Following. I haven't seen that movie, but it was super low budget, but it was apparently good enough where he was able to make Memento afterwards.
And Memento is magnificent.
I've
never seen a movie like it before or since. I would, if you want to watch it, I would recommend VidAngel because I'm pretty sure it's very bloody.
No, it's not too bloody.
Oh, really? Oh,
like I've seen it unedited. I don't remember it being too violent.
Okay.
You might. I think there's pictures that are gruesome or something.
Anyhow, it is magnificent.
He has then Insomnia with Robin Williams up in Alaska.
Oh, I forgot about that one. That's also really good. Dang.
It has, Al Pacino.
Tenet is also in the... Dang.
But then he gets Batman Begins after Insomnia. So really, even though people maybe haven't seen that first film and maybe Insomnia isn't as much remembered, then it's Batman. Then Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet, and Oppenheimer. Pretty good filmography.
Yeah, he doesn't have any holes.
And his next movie that comes out this year is The Odyssey, which I'm nothing but excited for.
Yeah, so Chris Nolan, and okay, I will say this: Interstellar is maybe my 7th favorite Nolan film, but it's a Nolan film, so it's gorgeous. It's like the space shots are phenomenal.
Oh,
the music is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The acting is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Like the cast is crazy. Like, how did they pull all of that off? And even like Matt Damon is only 20, 30 minutes in this.
Yeah.
That's Matt Damon, for crying out loud.
Okay, I have to say something. When this movie came out, 2014, I was on my mission for my church, so I didn't watch any movies or anything. I remember we were with some members, and I asked them if they've seen any good movies recently or something. And this guy was like, Interstellar. It's got to be Interstellar. Like, you got to see Interstellar. I don't even know how to describe Interstellar. And then the other person said, I'm not used to Matt Damon being the bad guy.
Yeah.
And
Spoilers.
Exactly. Like, the only thing I knew about this movie, I didn't see a trailer. I didn't know anything except for that Matt Damon was apparently a bad guy. So
that sucks.
A little bit unfortunate. I was like, Matt Damon, because he's not in the commercials.
Right.
He's not on the poster.
Right.
He's a surprise in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Wait a second, that's Matt Damon.
So good.
But I was like, he's probably gonna betray them. But which is what he does.
Yeah, he does. Spoilers.
Okay, here's the other thing. Before we get too far in, have you ever heard of the reconnaissance?
Like the Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey was in peak
super movies
reconnaissance mode. So, because, here's the thing. Matthew McConaughey's been around for a while. And at a certain point, he was like just a rom-com guy. Right. In fact, I remember in high school, there was a girl I liked, and she said her celebrity crush was Matthew McConaughey. And I'm like, what, the guy from Sahara? How is that anyone's?
Yeah.
But around, I think it starts with Mud from 2012. And then you think it's funny because his next movie is Magic Mike. But he just became this guy where he either comes in for not the main goal or main guy, or he is the main guy, and it's like, wow, he is unlike nothing I've seen before. The movie after Magic Mike is Dallas Buyers Club, where he wins the Oscar. He gets a little role in The Wolf of Wall Street. Then he has True Detective, which is a TV show where every season is different actors, a different case, it's different detectives. But Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, some people say it's the best season of television.
Well.
And admittedly, I should have seen it by now. I know it's dark and gritty, but apparently incredible. But he has his season of True Detective, and then comes Interstellar. Shortly thereafter, probably around, I think people say the movie called Gold in 2016 is about the end of the reconnaissance.
So that's when he starts sucking.
It's just, for some reason, the movie, it's like everything he touched was like incredible. Amazing. For a while. Even when he did like Kubo and the Two Strings. Maybe that movie's not the best, but like, hey, McConaughey's in this. It's, it's an unofficial kind of curvature of his career. And afterwards, he's never stopped doing things, but it's maybe not as big as it used to be. Anyway, like he came out with a movie called The Lost Bus 2025. Did you even hear about that one?
No.
Right. So it's like maybe not every movie is a big deal at the moment. But I think Interstellar is peak reconnaissance, Matthew McConaughey. It's like, I bet if you read the script, you would never picture that guy. But he's like the perfect. It's hard to even think of anyone else,
Yeah, I agree. Like the casting and the performances in this were perfect, I think. Like, Anne Hathaway is really, really good.
So her career is interesting, too, because this is post-Oscar. She's won an Oscar at this point. And sometimes, weirdly, when an actor wins an Oscar, it could be like, oh, bigger and better things. Or sometimes it's like too big to touch. They have to kind of rediscover themselves.
So this was her Les Mis Oscar?
Yeah. Well, that happens. She's kind of been So even before this movie, she's in The Dark Knight Rises. So she's worked with Nolan now twice.
Yeah.
Because he likes to use the same guys. It's arguably hit or miss for a lot of her career at first. But you have, like, The Devil Wears Prada. And then you could have, like, Get Smart. Where, like, oh, yeah, I guess she was in that. You know what I mean? But she wins for Les Mis, an Oscar. And she is incredible. And then it kind of feels like I'm just looking at her career. Literally, this is the next... I mean, it's 2 years later. It's not like it's a big gap. But like, oh yeah, she's still the person.
Still got it.
Yeah. But then, interestingly, she does like The Intern, which is, I think, a good movie. But then Colossal in 2016, which is funny because that's super low budget now. Did you see Colossal?
I don't.
It's kind of funny where somehow she discovers she unintentionally controls a giant kaiju in Korea when she walks across the sandbox. And it's kind of an interesting, kind of fun movie.
Weird.
It is weird. But, you know, so it's like... And she's kind of weaving here and there. Anyway, she also has never stopped. She's in lots of movies. Similar, maybe you just haven't even heard of them at this point with all of them. What's funny, though, and I have not seen it, I need to, she and Matthew McConaughey are in a movie called Serenity from 2019. And it's not Serenity like Firefly Serenity. I don't even know what this movie's about, but they sued either the producer or maybe the writer because the movie was awful. Like, people were sued because of the movie's failure and its reception.
Really?
Like, it was so bad. The main stars were not happy with either how it was put together or
because of the editing.
I don't even know. I need to watch it. It pops up on like worst movie lists sometimes. I gotta check it out because it's two actors who I think are good at acting.
Right.
How bad could it be? I don't know.
Apparently bad.
Apparently bad. Okay, so Interstellar. You have some qualms. I wonder if we should just get those nonsense things out of the way first.
All my qualms are always nonsense, according to you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
They are.
They're legitimate issues.
Okay.
With the film. You want to start with the
Let's start
cons?
with the cons, go with the pros, and then get into the philosophy and film study stuff.
So we're in... Do you want to do cons that you have first? You don't have any cons?
I don't have any cons.
That's crazy to me. Okay.
Okay, here's maybe a con. It's kind of funny now, but it does feel like the son just gets neglected by the dad.
Yeah.
It's
like he's not a terribly great father. But
yeah.
anyhow, that wasn't on my con.
If I have to stretch, it's that.
There are all kinds of fathers.
Did you recognize the boy, by the way?
No.
That's Timothy Chalamet. Chalamet? It's Paul Atreides from Dune.
Okay, yeah, no.
It's pre-fame, Timothy.
I would never have put that together.
But
all right, so we're going to start with the least issue to the greatest issue. 6-7 shows up multiple times in this film.
Do tell.
For some reason. I don't know.
I didn't.
Like all of the numbers in the film are 6-7. So, like, the days are 67 hours long on the planet. The spin after Damon blows up the thing is 67 rotations per minute. I don't know what that means, but it's weird now. Anyhow, that was just more of a joke. So that's really a non-issue. That's more for my son who said, "You won't." So I did. There. Okay, so you already disagreed with this, but the first 2 hours of this movie are very slow to me. You know, just moving slowly.
All right, let's just address this. Okay, so
wait, I'm not done. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
When this movie came out, it was Nolan's lowest rated film at 73 critics.
Right. It's still Nolan. So.
And I think now in 2026, Happy New Year, that most people are like, what? No, this is one of the greats of his career.
I can understand that, but I disagree.
As far as I understand, the main issues, there's basically 3 problems that critics at the time had. And I think they might be your problems too. A slow beginning, which I strongly disagree with, and we'll come back to that. Too complicated, me no understandy.
I was not, no.
And then, believe it or not, people don't like the love thing, or didn't like
That's
the love
also
thing.
not mine.
Right. I think
that's actually one of my huge pros. So.
Mine too, Deets.
Not the love interest between Anne Hathaway and Matthew McConaughey, which doesn't actually exist, but
right.
The end of it makes it seem like it did, but it really doesn't exist at all. There's no chemistry there. So I don't know why he took off to go hang out with her at the end. But we haven't gotten to that yet. We're still talking about the...
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're still talking about the very, very slow 2 hours at the start. This could have easily been a 2-hour movie.
Okay, I think the first hour is crucial to understand everything.
Okay.
Everything that you need
so
for motivation.
Give me a quick, or as long as you want, in fact, synopsis of what happens in the first hour of this movie.
I mean, I think there's a conversation with the teachers. Guess what? You're either a farmer or something else.
Yeah.
It's like you have to understand the world. You see the baseball game, that is the Yankees. That's what they've been reduced down to. All of this, I think, adds to the effect of why it's important. I think if you didn't have as much time with the world, the Dust Bowl Part 2, them talking about we used to look up in the sky and now we just look down in the dirt.
Yes.
This hopelessness. I don't think we as an audience would even care as much with what they are doing with their mission. I mean, it's about saving Earth, yes. It's about saving humanity, yes. But it's also about, it's mostly about a father and a daughter. It's about being a parent. And I think we need time with that dynamic to understand and even care about the rest of the movie.
And you feel like they accomplished that in the first hour?
Yeah.
Because I did not feel that way. Okay,
so look at this. You get this, I think... It's just an excuse to have scenes you wouldn't have in a short movie, like the drone thing. Let's chase this drone. Our tire's flat. Doesn't matter. Let's get this drone.
Right. All of that is not... Okay.
Go for it.
Sure, it's beautiful. I get it. It's great. I did not feel like he was deeply invested in either of his children by the time he flew off. He said he was. At the level of connection that he had with those 2 kids by the end of the first hour, I didn't really believe that he cared a whole lot. I mean, we do have the scene where he gets the first set of messages and he's crying and whatever, but so the entire first hour had 2 goals.
Okay.
Right? Show us the Earth sucks.
Yeah.
And show us that McConaughey's character cares about his kids.
Uh-huh.
In an hour.
Yeah,
we could have done
luckily,
that.
It doesn't feel like an hour. It just flies on by.
Okay, I will tell you this. Also, I have seen part of this movie before.
Uh-huh.
I recognized up until right before he finally gets on the friggin' spaceship. I recognized that. I remember watching that. And I remember, right before that, I'm like, this is the boringest movie I've ever seen. I'm not watching any more of this, and I stopped.
Deets.
So,
this is...
I know it's sad. I know. And I know I'm probably an evil human being. I'm gonna burn in hell, whatever. The first hour, to me, is all just pathos bait, I guess.
But it's also, it's setting up stakes and showing the struggle. But here's
you could do that in 5 minutes.
We've done this podcast for a long time. I feel like you have argued you just need explosions and blah. What is happening?
You need pathos.
All of it is so good in my opinion. It's weird that you don't like it. If I'm being honest.
Okay, how about this? Let's try this out. I liked the second 2 hours much more than the first.
That's
and so
fair.
In hindsight, I'm looking back at what I got out of the second 2 hours compared to what I got out of the first, and I'm like, that was a waste of my time. So maybe it's that. Anyhow,
maybe it's that.
so the movie basically has three not even acts. We have like boring first hour.
Yeah.
We have like philosophical, debatey, concept discussion, science discussion hour in the middle, and then we have like the action of the film in the third hour.
Yeah.
Which, is like, that's a good structure. I enjoyed that. Other than the first hour, I honestly, not a bitterman, not an evil person, genuinely did not feel like it was necessary for what we got out of it. So if there is anything wrong with this movie, and I think there is, one of the main things is that Nolan didn't use the first hour as well as he could have.
I guess here's the thing. I don't know. Let me compare it to a movie you haven't seen, so the argument's not even going to do anything.
Well, pick a different movie then.
No, but our audience might have seen it.
Oh, okay.
In the last Mission Impossible movie, which is similar in length, this is the bad version that you think this movie is. It's like, we just need an hour to make sure everyone knows what everything is doing.
How awesome
and then
Tom Cruise is.
If you keep it up, dudes, we'll do Mission Impossible. Don't
tempt me.
And then it's like, and then afterwards, the last 2 hours, let it rip, and it's just nonstop and crazy.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is not that. It's just,
no, not at all.
I think everything in this movie is well done.
Okay.
I don't know. So apparently,
maybe I needed more out of the kid. I don't know.
Timothy Chalamet, who's Paul Atreides now?
The daughter.
Murph?
Yeah. I don't know. Neither of the kids seemed massively attached to him, and he didn't seem massively attached to them. We ended up, like, Murph wouldn't talk to him, blah, 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 at the end. That we needed. I feel like that was important. But
when he's driving away, he checks to see if Murph's hiding again.
Right, and she finally comes out as he's driving. That part we needed. So all we needed from the first hour is that part.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey maybe should have been crying as he's driving off.
He basically
He wasn't at all. He's just like, yeah, I get to go in space.
Oh my.
Anyhow, okay, so if I were to redo the first hour, it would be about 10 minutes or less. We need maybe the Yankee baseball scene, and then they come home and their crops are all dying, and then they get to go talk to Michael Caine, for crying out loud. I forgot he was in this. That's a crazy cast.
Michael Caine's in every Christopher Nolan movie.
I know, but he's just a great actor on top of anyhow. So we go meet with him, then he goes home and Murphy's crying. We could basically take the boy out. Like, he's not even necessary in this film.
Well, that's not true. His character, like, the thing is when Matthew McConaughey is watching the first set of videos after he's missed like 20 years or something, and you get that iconic scene of him breaking down. Like, literally, he missed everything, and that's part of it. He missed a grandson, or a grandbaby being born and then being lost.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's.
Okay.
Murph was never going to have a baby in the.
Right.
Right.
So that's all we need. We need a little bit of the earth sucks.
Agree.
We need, here is the plan, and we need the I have to go, everyone's crying. That's it. That's all we got.
Just have AI summarize your books for you,
I'm just saying, by the time I got to the actual movie, I was already like, oh man, this still has an hour and 40 minutes left. My gosh. Anyhow, so that aside, I loved the rest of the movie, except for the end.
Which has a reasonable answer, but tell the audience so they know.
Let me give you the issues. I thought the ending was pretty lame. What?
Sorry, it's just...
Okay, let me actually... Here, I looked this up just for us. This movie, in my opinion, ends with this.
Deus Ex Machina.
which is defined as an unexpected power or event saving a seemingly hopeless situation, especially as a contrived plot device. So, the end of this movie hinges entirely on these fifth dimensional beings creating and manipulating and doing various things that rescue the end of the movie the way that it ended. I don't understand how come it has to end the way that it did.
Specifically what?
Specifically, McConaughey's character surviving basically is it. Like, this would be a much more powerful movie, in my opinion, if he went into the wormhole knowing he would never come out.
He didn't know he was going to come out.
And never coming out. It is impossible for him to come back out of a black hole.
Why?
Laws of physics.
What happens?
Not
when
even light escapes a black hole.
Well, what happens?
Nothing.
What happens if you go in a black hole, Deets?
Who knows?
Exactly.
But we know that nothing ever comes out of it.
Except for maybe these fifth dimensional beings.
And now we're back to our Deus Ex Machina. Because for some reason we have to have McConaughey come out the other side. We have this God in the machine, the fifth dimensional beings, who pop him out for... Why? Why does he get popped out?
It's okay. So for one,
no reason.
Here's the reasons, Deets. For one, why he needs to survive is he promised his daughter he will see her again.
Pathos.
Sure. But she literally also came around to that conclusion too. Like, she hated her dad for a lot of it.
Yeah.
So she needed that closure even though she has a family at that point. It is a nice bow on that moment.
No. It's a logical, massive logical hole in this movie.
It's not, Deets.
For the service of pathos, Logos gets raped by the end of this movie.
That's not... Okay,
then... For some reason, I'm just going to finish my argument against the end of this movie.
Go for it.
For some reason, he then decides to go mate with Anne Hathaway or something. And then, like, go hang out with her.
Okay, well, he's missed, 20 more years of spaceship...
Right, I get that
he doesn't have a place with those people.
I get that.
He's an astronaut.
But there's no chemistry there.
I don't know if that's true.
Where was there any chemistry between those two?
She's the only person he has.
That I understand.
No, like everyone else.
But he's going to go live the rest of his life with this person that he didn't connect with.
Well, everyone's going to go there. They're going to go live on that planet. Everyone.
Eventually.
Yeah. So he's just
he's dead.
He's just getting there a little bit early.
Oh my. Anyhow, that's all I've got. And I pointed out to Ryan, this is the most notes I've ever taken.
Yeah.
I have 2 pages of prose and philosophy.
Good.
And I have 5 lines of con. So this is not, in my opinion, a bad movie at all. This is a really good movie. That could have been a perfect movie with less of the crap at the beginning. And if they would just have allowed the sacrifice to happen. If they would have allowed Anne Hathaway's character to make the sacrifice that she agreed to make. To be alone and to prepare this planet for the rest of humanity. If they would have allowed McConaughey's character to make the sacrifice that he agreed to make, which is, I'm going into a black hole. I know nothing ever comes out of a black hole. I'm doing that anyway so that humanity can continue. They would allow Murph to make the sacrifice she involuntarily made by letting her father go. This movie robs all of that so that we can have this cute little moment with the Murph and her dad, and then this other cute little moment where McConaughey shoots off to go hang out with Hathaway. Tell me it wouldn't have been better.
It would
with
not.
A straight face.
It would have ruined the movie for me.
How?
Because the whole movie is about parenting. It's about being a parent.
I disagree.
I disagree with what you say.
That is not what this movie's about. But other than that, I loved this movie.
Okay,
So
I know you like this movie.
This is a 4-star movie for me, which you think is an atrocity. But
here's the thing. I feel like this is arguably maybe even the best movie we've watched on this podcast. We've watched a lot of good movies.
We have.
You know? But there's something about literally everything working together in this film. The music isn't just music. It is music that stands out doing
it's pretty
incredible, magnificent work. Everything, the mise en scène, everything looks like you can tell there's a lot of real stuff. Like there's clearly CGI happening sometimes, but there's a lot of practical stuff with miniatures or like real sets. Like, you know, the water planet, that's real. They are really in a place.
That's cool.
Not like a tank. It's like in Iceland or something.
Oh, wow.
Like the big wave,
The
obviously.
wave was real?
That one's not real.
Okay.
But like literally them walking in what looks like an endless ocean is a real place, you know?
Yeah.
They find all of these ways to make it look incredible.
Yeah.
The acting, I think, is incredible.
I agree.
I think when you get to the movie, like, when you watch it, it's like, wow, if only every movie could be like this.
Visually?
And that's not just visually, but everything. Acting, writing, editing, music.
I agree.
This is, I think, above and beyond most movies.
Well, I think that's Chris Nolan.
Right.
I think all of his movies are way beyond what most people do.
That's what I mean when you say 4 out of 5. I'm like, that's just criminally too low. Because I've watched a lot of movies, and this movie, every time I watch it, it's just as incredible as ever.
Okay.
Here's a question. I said I think one of the best movies in all, the best films in all of cinema is in this. What scene do you think I was talking about?
I can't think of a scene in this movie that I would say was the greatest in all of cinema.
It's
hit me.
I wish I could see this in IMAX because I've never seen it on the big screen. It's the redocking scene. It's arguably the whole thing after man hijacks it.
Like with Damon trying to redock. And
right.
Okay.
And like Matthew McConaughey going and locking on and fixing it. I think everything about that sequence is utterly fantastic.
I agree.
Like, that's what my twin brother, when he saw this movie on IMAX when they re-released it, he said like it was like a spiritual experience watching this moment. Like,
wow.
And once again, the music. It's not even just music. It's one of the very, very rare times a movie soundtrack uses organ music, which is also specific because it's kind of sounding religious-y.
Sure.
But also, interestingly, organs need air to play.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's like kind of thought put into it.
Yeah.
But you get that. I mean, maybe it's just spectacle, but it's when the robot says it's not possible, and McConaughey says no, it's necessary. And I'm like, wow, what am I watching?
Yeah.
What am I beholding? You know.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be the whole thing but Matt Damon's character and Matthew McConaughey when they're like having their argument, and yeah, so I didn't know he was the bad guy, and up until that moment I was like, yeah, he made a mistake, whatever, and then he starts talking and keeps talking, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So that was, for me, that was one of the most effective, I don't know what that's called, bad guy reveals I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's like he's not even really quote unquote bad guy, kinda, because he was alone for years.
Sure.
He's like, I resisted the temptation for years.
Yes.
And it's like, what you did was wrong.
So that's,
but I understand it.
That's one of my big pros, is even though all of the characters in this movie make choices that are maybe ethically questionable.
Yeah.
We get it. And like we can't really fault any of them for the, like Michael Caine's character lying about plan A or option A or whatever he called it. Yeah, we get it, because if there was no option A, there would be mass panic and the world would end now.
Yeah.
Or Matt Damon, you live a decade by yourself. What are you gonna do if you have right there? Yeah, I absolutely love, and we mentioned this in another movie recently. I don't remember what it was, but everyone's doing things that aren't necessarily right, but it was one of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah.
We get it. We understand it. We would probably make the same choice.
Right.
So like Anne Hathaway's like, we really, 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 really need to go to this planet. And Matthew McConaughey's like, yeah, because you're in love with the guy that's there. And she's like, yeah. That was my favorite scene. That the love discussion. Just philosophically, that was peak. I loved that.
Okay, here we go. Because this, I love it too. But it's literally, this movie is logos versus pathos. Science says this. Oh, if we can figure out, we won't live, but science will get other people to live, and that's the best solution. That's the logos thing, and it logically makes sense for survival. That was like the whole thing, Planet. But like pathos, though, that's the whole thing with like Anne Hathaway's character.
Right.
It's like, what's the only other thing that transcends space and time?
Oh, so awesome.
It's so good, and I hate that people have issues with that.
Well, what are the issues?
I don't know, cheesy writing or something. I think people just kind of roll their eyes or scoff at it. Or I don't know the specifics. I just know it gets pointed out, I've seen a few times as being either bad writing, believe it or not, or the one example of something bad in a good movie. I've seen both of those.
That's interesting.
Right.
So I guess this episode we're just mixing all of, because that's a philosophical thing that I found fascinating. So love as not necessarily like eros love, like romantic love, but love generally is a central part of almost every religion and almost every philosophy that has ever been. And I've wondered, and I've thought for a long time about why, like what is so central about love? Where does it come from? Like, why does it happen, etc., etc., etc. And Anne Hathaway's character in this movie like gave me something I'd never thought of in my life. Like, what if it's a dimension that it kind of is leaking into our four-dimensional world, and we see the effects of it, but we can't see that dimension.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing. I've been thinking about it pretty much constantly since I finished watching the movie. That would make a lot of sense if love was just it's a part of who we are.
Yeah.
It's a crucial component of being a complete us. We just can't see it. I think that's amazing. That's brilliant.
That's the argument they even say with her like speech, because he even points out there's not like a survival reason for love to happen. That's like the logo side. That's like the purely science side. And she says love has to mean something.
Yeah.
And she's like, I love someone I haven't seen in years who's another galaxy away. Like when she says love is the only thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends space and time.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like she even points out, we love people who've died. There's not a reason for that. And technically there isn't.
There isn't. Right. So like we have quantum entanglement, for example. The idea that atoms or molecules or whatever are connected over immense distances. If we play around with the idea that love is the fifth dimension, why can't that be a connection? That's the connection that's what we're looking for, or that's what we're trying to understand. I just like that one little speech there, if that's all that I had gotten out of this movie, that would have been enough for me. Because that was, like, I'm, again, still thinking about it.
Part of Nolan movies, even like Tenet or even Oppenheimer and stuff, where it's like, I think I either missed some dialogue or crucial information, or I'm not understanding something. Nolan himself will be like, don't try to understand it, just feel it. He's like, if you're getting bogged down in like the rules or something, then let that go to enjoy the movie. Because like they say at one point, the only thing that can perceive time is gravity. And I think they try to explain it, but I'm like, my brain is like, I do not understand. I don't know what you mean by that. But the love thing just makes sense though. Like how love in the future, love in the past, love like it transcends, you know.
Yeah.
But for compared to like when they say gravity also does it to explain like how he makes the things, I'm like, I don't know what you mean by that. And I know there's like a book that was written about the science behind like Interstellar and stuff. Like not to better appreciate the movie, but to like, you know, here in case you want to learn more.
Yeah. So for me, like the middle hour of this movie was my favorite.
Well,
because of all of that stuff, like all of these ideas, all of this information that's being connected, like the idea that gravity could be harnessed and used. I'd never thought of that in my life. And so just all of these ideas in that second hour of this movie, that was a playground for me. I loved it. Just thing after thing after thing that I'd never thought of before, but it makes sense. And as I'm playing with it in my mind, it's connecting, and the connections to other things that I know are there. So yeah, I don't know. Did Nolan write this?
Kind of. So as I understand it, the concept has been around for decades, a little bit to some degree. Actually, I think the people who helped work on Contact, another McConaughey movie,
I love Contact,
had some specific ideas for another movie. And then, you know, then early or late 90s, some more stuff was added to it. But then Nolan's brother picked it up and worked on the script and, like, made it his own thing. And Nolan helped write it with his brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that family is a genius family. Like, that is a deep, critical thinking family. That's awesome. So I loved that part. The love part, but all of that.
But that seems to me to tie back into, like, the Murph at the end thing. And the whole parenting theme to me.
Right. Like, I understand why they ended the movie this way. I get it.
Yeah.
I feel like it robs the movie. Oh, I already said it. I feel like it robs the movie of a lot of power, because for me, this is not a movie about parenting. This is a movie about making sacrifices for the good of more people than ourselves.
I guess I would say it feels like a sacrifice. Like, I feel like he did sacrifice.
Well, okay.
Plenty.
Sure. But he was denied the ultimate sacrifice that he was willing to make for humanity.
But luckily, he didn't have to.
Okay. Whatever. You're just baiting me at this
Well,
point.
I just disagree.
Okay. But if we look at why our quote-unquote villain was a villain, the reason he was a villain is he decided he didn't want to make the sacrifice. That's what makes him a bad guy. Not that he anything else, but in the context of this movie, he's a bad guy because he didn't follow through with his sacrifice.
Right. But I love...
So, hang on. So, when the movie does the same thing to Matthew McConaughey, it feels like it has taken away from him his role as a good guy. He's not allowed to make the sacrifice that he agreed to. Same thing with Anne Hathaway's character. She agreed to, and I already said this, agreed to, I'm going to go to this planet by myself for decades to restart humanity. But then because of our little, we need to save him somehow, and somehow he gets out of the black hole, which nothing gets out of. We're going to send him off to be, her lover or whatever, best bud, whatever. So,
except the difference between man and the first astronauts is they agreed to maybe be on the planet and live there forever. McConaughey and Hathaway and the other two, they're there to see if the data, like if it is that case.
Right.
It's not exactly they're signing up to never come back.
Right. But once everything has gone wrong and the fuel's spent and whatever, they made a decision to make a sacrifice, which in the context of what I think this movie's about is a perfect choice, because at least he thought he was sacrificing any possible future with his children because humanity needed to continue. And the only way for that to happen was to have Anne Hathaway get to this planet. And so he was giving his life in a very real sense so that humanity could continue. But then the movie's like, actually, no. We're going to have this cute little scene with his super old kid, and then we're going to send him off to whatever. Anyhow, we are probably never, ever going to agree about that. Anyhow. So, so I guess we've moved into, so that's philosophy. We're going to
jump around much like a Nolan film.
Yes, much like a Nolan film. So the idea of sacrifice and willingness to sacrifice for other people is a massive pro for me about this movie. We don't get many movies like this in terms of, in terms of I will sacrifice X for you or these people. We get a lot of, almost all of them are just self-centered. I'm out for me. I'm trying to get what I want. I don't care who I hurt. I don't care who dies. John Wick is a great example. He don't care anything about anybody. He's not sacrificing anything. He's just going to kill New York because, of his dog and whatever else things happen later. That's the kind of movie that we get. We get almost no movies like this. And so, again, that's why the ending was so frustrating for me, because this is a unique film. It's offering us a unique alternate version of humanity where we all care enough about the future, about our children and our grand and great-grand and whatever, that we're willing to do impossible things and potentially die so that can happen. We don't get any films like that, or very few. So, yeah, I was pretty pissed at the end. But anyhow, I love the sacrifice.
See, that's why Dr. Mann, Matt Damon's character, his name is super specific. He's man. He represents mankind.
Sure.
He represents the worst in man.
Yeah.
The selfish man.
But it's not
it's not the worst. It's the natural man is what I should say. He represents, you know what, actually, I want to do something for me, even though I know it's wrong. Well, Anne Hathaway, I forget her character name, but she kind of represents the opposite. Let's do it out of love. Let's do it. Right. It's because of love. That his name is man. That's definitely on purpose. It's
It seemed like you're agreeing with me that the ending should have been different.
No, I here's the thing. I truly do not understand your grievance so much. I just don't even know where it is right now. It exists in an alternate universe.
This movie is a movie about sacrifice.
This movie is about what a parent would do for their child.
You're making it more specific than I feel like the movie is.
I think the first hour of the movie disagrees with that, Deeds.
Which is, okay, that's fair. But McConaughey is not the only character in this movie, and he's not the only main character in this movie. He is the only one that has a family.
Besides Hathaway and her dad.
Right.
Kind of juxtaposed on each other.
Right. Right.
Okay.
But all of the other people in this movie, even Hathaway's father, is sacrificing his... So I love that he figured out the answer to his thing decades ago.
Yeah.
And so he has sacrificed his professional reputation I imagine having to carry that weight that and still are going to work, that is a massive sacrifice.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with family, but it
You're
has
right.
to do with him as a scientist, him as a person, him as a human. Man is another great example of that. Like Hathaway say he's the best of them several times, I think. And yet, when he gets out, he's making that sacrifice. He's going there with a very small team. He's going to be there probably for the rest of his life. He made that sacrifice. The other two people that we don't really see at all, I guess, Miller? No. Is that the first planet? Yeah, Miller's planet. And Miller's team, they made the sacrifice. So I think if we focus specifically on McConaughey and his family, yes, this is a movie about family and what you do for your family and whatever. But I think if you force this movie into that small box, we're missing, I think, the bigger picture of this movie. All of the sacrifices, only one of which, or maybe two of which, had to do with family.
And I do think one of the key reasons this movie is good, like the theme of sacrifice, everyone is sacrifice. Even
Right.
another great example is Romilly, the astronaut who stayed on the spaceship for the water planet.
Oh yeah,
He was there 23 years by himself.
yeah.
You know, but like even like Casey Affleck, old Tom, he's technically sacrificing. He
right.
You know, everyone is, and that's what
Yes.
I think maybe the first hour sets up is like, this is why the sacrifice is happening. This is why everyone is sacrificing to save this. It's a planet of dust crap, but it's still worth saving. Maybe
But they're not saving the planet.
But they didn't know that.
They're saving the people.
They're saving the people. That's what
Yeah.
I meant the people, but
Right.
all right. Can I get to some of my pros, deets?
Go for it.
Did you know they planted those corn for real life? Fields and fields of it.
Oh, cool.
And when the filming ended, they sold that corn and made a profit.
I did not know that.
Nolan, he's good at maybe budgeting, but he's good at being like, I'm going to come here, do this, come here, do that, and not blow up a budget.
Cool.
Like even like the film that's not even out yet, The Odyssey. It's like comes and films a scene and people are just saying like, he just knows how to make it not expensive. I mean, there's still hundreds of millions of dollars, but you know, it's not 200s of millions of dollars. It looks like it though.
Yeah.
What's funny is this is the second movie in a row on our podcast where it touches on the theme of revisionist history.
Yeah.
With Harry Potter 5, where it's like, these are the approved textbooks.
Right.
There's that scene at the beginning where it's like, oh, this book is the old book that doesn't teach it the right way.
That was one of my pros too.
Which is always kind of fun, especially as teachers, where
Right.
we are striving for truth seekers.
Yes, we are.
You know? A couple quotes that I wrote down is, science is about admitting what we don't know.
Yeah.
Because she said it's a ghost. It's like, well, it can't be a ghost. Like, well, I don't know what it is. And that's what science is, figuring that out.
Yeah.
Also, I love how she says, I thought you were my ghost, or like the first line in the movie almost is when he wakes up, Murph wakes him up, and she says, I thought you were the ghost. He was the ghost. It's like a clever little setup there.
Yeah.
But that idea of they don't know, the whole movie is, I don't know what's going to happen, let's find out. So this movie is science.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when we go in the black hole? We're going to be in a bookshelf somehow.
Yeah.
Don't shake your head.
No, that's what happens.
I like this other quote. We used to look at the sky and wonder at our place in the stars. Now we just look down and worry about our place in the dirt.
Yep.
I think that theme is, I guess it's very like prevalent. I think, you know, this movie kind of is about growing up. Like the kids grow up really fast and, you know, trying to find our place in the world type of thing. But I think it's a very common thing when you get to be an adult where that could happen. where at a certain point you stop wondering.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
In my class, I use it to introduce Lord of the Flies, but I read Robert Fulghum's Everything I Need to Know I learned in kindergarten. And there's a beautiful paragraph. Even though I have a student read it, I always like basically read it out loud again. It's like, look, like listen to everything he's saying here. But like, the last sentence of this paragraph says like, learn a little, wonder a little, like sing and dance and work a little every day. And like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But that's like, I think that's kind of what that quote specifically is hinting at. It's like, yeah, maybe historically people maybe aren't as curious. Maybe, probably.
For sure.
I think growing up, some people stop that wonder.
Yeah.
And I think it's always not your fault specifically because all of a sudden, I don't know, like life gets hard. You got to figure out how to make ends meet. Sometimes there isn't a time for wonder sometimes, but
there's always time.
There is always time.
I think it's, if I'm a conspiracy theorist, I think it's intentionally beaten out of us.
Okay.
Through the public schooling process or the way that the job market works or whatever. I think it's not capitalistically beneficial for people to wonder.
Oh, yeah.
And so we remove it, like a cancer or something, which, I feel like this movie does a great job of illustrating why we 100% need wonder, because wonder and creativity and the pursuit of the unattainable is what has brought humanity to where we're at. And I guess I am a conspiracy theorist. I feel like a very small group of people want that to be over so that they can continue to have power and continue to garner wealth. I think this movie is a fantastic argument for why we need to reclaim our right to have wonder, to be creative, to do or to attempt impossible things. Because who knows? You don't know. And a lot of life is the joy, or should be, the joy of wonder. Like anyone who has had a child, for example, knows what that is. Like there's no other word to describe what happens when you're a kid.
Yeah. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
go.
Daniel Radcliffe, of all people, said something really profound in an interview once, because he's a father now in real life, and he said something where it was to the effect of, you always hear the bad parts of parenthood or the hard parts of parenthood, like it overshadows it, but it's only because the good parts are inexplainable.
Yeah,
like
I would agree.
It's easy to say I'm tired, I don't have free time, I have to whatever. Those are the bad parts, but the good parts, it's like there's not a word for it.
Yeah, you don't have words for it. Yeah, and so that was another big philosophical piece of what I got out of this movie is exactly that. Like, there are shots in this movie that are just absolutely wonder-inspiring shots.
Yeah, like just the spaceship going.
Right, or the black hole and all that's going there, or seeing these planets, or the rotation thing. Yes. Like, those are wonder-inspiring, awe-inspiring moments.
Maybe best scene in cinematic history?
Perhaps.
One of them.
I don't know. I feel like we don't get those moments on a regular basis in films not directed by Chris Nolan, I guess. I mean, they show up occasionally, but they're not the rule. And they show up as a scene in a movie, but not the whole movie, with the exception of the first half, am I right? Or first hour. But even in the first hour, there are moments that are just like, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. Like the dust moment in I guess it's the Yankees game. Like, that's a beautiful moment. Like, you you can feel the wonder of, oh my gosh, look at this thing, the awe, the fear. You can imagine yourself in that situation watching that dust cloud coming and all of the emotions, but one of those emotions is wonder, is awe, is like, look at this massive, huge natural thing. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's gonna, ruin my crops or whatever, but, or like the wave on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that sucks. We're gonna die. But there is a moment in this movie where they're just like taking in the fact that there's a 1,000-foot wave there coming at them. And
I think that's not a mountain.
Right, that's not a mountain. And so, yeah, that's another piece of the philosophy of this is I don't know how else to say it other than life is supposed to be enjoyed. We lose that in allowing whatever forces there are that dictate that, no, you're supposed to be miserable. No, if you ever feel sad or bored or whatever, that's bad and you should whatever. And we lose the opportunity to experience the wonder of pain, the wonder of difficulty, the wonder of struggle. It's all wonderful. Like, life is full of these moments that we should be wondering at.
Yeah.
And we don't. We think bad, or we think difficult equals bad, or boring equals bad, or basically any negative emotion is bad. And I don't think that that's true at all.
You mean apathy is a tragedy and boredom is a crime?
Yes. I don't know who said that, but I agree. Who is that?
The internet said that, Dietz.
The internet's popped it out.
Bo Burnham song called
That's right. That's right.
But you're right. I mean, when you're little, things are easy, kinda, or you think they're easy.
Sure.
You want to be an astronaut or whatever. I did. And sometime you lose that. Like, I hope this is in line with what you were saying, but I saw a quote talking about how every little kid is unafraid to sing, to dance, to draw, and eventually we stop. We learn to be scared to sing out loud and dance in front of people and to keep drawing or whatever it is. And yeah, that sense of wonder, it's looking, like Matthew kind of says, like looking up versus looking down at the dirt.
Yeah. So if you're currently living life in the harness, find the wonder, find the awe, and again, I don't believe that having a pleasant experience is requisite for finding wonder and awe.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say I have more awe as a result of the very difficult things that I've been through.
Yeah.
Than I ever did from like life's chill. But we need to recapture our ability to wonder and be filled with awe.
Yeah. It can be easier said than done. You don't agree.
I do not agree.
That's probably because, like, I'm in the woes right now. So
oh my! Yeah, my life is sunshine and roses.
I know it is.
Everybody's life is in the woes.
I know, but sometimes it's hard to not feel out of the woes. Sometimes
that's because of the. I mean, we've had this conversation. It's about mindset.
Maybe.
Okay. I 100% think that. Maybe 98%. There are some things that are just tragedies. But our lives are not that. Mm-hmm. Our lives are, 98% not tragedy. 99% not tragedy. That doesn't mean it's 99%, Disneyland and popcorn. But it does mean that that's 99% of your life that you can be pursuing or looking for. What is the awe? What is the wonder? What is the beauty in this hard thing or in this whatever I'm going through? And I very firmly, based on my philosophy and also my personal experience, know that it is possible. And even beneficial to look for that and embrace that and refuse to allow whatever negative thing is going on to dictate who you are and how your life is at any given moment. But maybe I'm just the old person who doesn't know anything about the real world. I don't know. But so I would say bad does not equal any of those things. Bad does not equal difficult or boring or challenging. None of those are bad. It's just how we think about them. So, just to put a philosopher on what I just said, his name's James Allen. We've talked about him before. But he's the philosopher that came up with the idea of the garden of the mind.
Oh, yes.
If you don't cultivate the garden of your mind, crap will grow there, but it won't be stuff that you want to have there. So the weeds of, oh, this is so terrible, this sucks so bad, whatever, will grow in your mind on their own. We have to take control of how we think about our lives in order for anything other than that to grow. That's James Allen's stuff. But anyhow.
Yes, you gotta plant things in your brain.
Yes. But I think also it's important to recognize that even when you don't plant things in your brain, things are growing. Things are growing in your brain regardless. The choice that you have is what grows there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we allow ourselves to, this is whatever, yeah, that'll happen. If we're willing to do the work to uproot that crap and put in roses and apple trees or whatever, then that's how you'll live life, according to James Allen.
Do you want apple trees in your brain garden?
I'd prefer peach trees.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yeah, peaches and apricots. Anyhow. So, yeah, so that was philosophy thing number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Let me go through a few more pros and fun facts.
Okay.
So, for example, did you know this movie helped take the first real-life picture of a black hole?
Oh, really?
So, here's a fun fact for you. And I Googled this. Interstellar used massive computing power, primarily of rendering its scientifically accurate black hole, Gargantua, and each frame taking around 100 hours on a huge 32,000 core rendering farm, generating 800 terabytes of data. So every single, not second, frame, there's about 24 frames per second, took 100 hours to render.
Wow.
For the black hole. They used a supercomputer to crunch Einstein's equations to extreme gravitational lensing effects. And because they used so much power to make the fake black hole, a few years later, because I remember I was in college when this happened, the first official picture of a black hole came out. And what the funny thing is, it's not like impressive because it's a little bit blurry, but it also is crazy impressive because it's the first picture that we've ever had of a black hole.
Cool.
It's a little blurry.
Yeah.
Looks like a yellowy, orangey, blurry circle with a black thing in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But because of this movie, we were able to get that image.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Good job, Nolan.
Yay. I like how the robots are distinctly different.
Yes.
Like, they don't look like robots you've ever seen before.
Yes.
And they do things that make sense, you know? Like,
yes.
They walk, they can roll.
Yeah.
They can have little arms that pop out.
Yeah. Most robots in science fiction are humanoid.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that these were much more useful, I think. Yeah.
And something I never noticed, but I saw in a video I watched, the capsule that they, of the Endurance, which is the big ship, has 12 capsules on it, just like a clock. Because time is a key factor in this movie. Like when they get to the water planet, if you listen to that soundtrack, you hear the ticking of the clock. Because that reminds you every second is however long it is on Earth.
Yeah.
And every hour is like...
1 hour is 7 years.
Yeah. And that's what makes it like you are so aware of that because of the music. But like when they make that mistake where Anne Hathaway tries to get the thing and like, no, get to the ship, oh, we're waterlogged, and they have just to sit there and do nothing. You're like, this is time we are just wasting.
Yes.
But like a lot of clock stuff with
Yeah.
I'd never noticed the visual of the
I
spaceship.
didn't either. But that particular scene, in the context of how much time we actually waste,
Yeah.
was really pretty powerful. That clock ticking is not fake in our lives. Like, our clocks are all ticking. Yeah, that was a really great scene. So many great scenes.
So many great scenes. And I think there's an argument to be made. Not that it's real or you need to take it seriously, but there is an argument to be made. Would you rather have this movie or 2001: A Space Odyssey?
This movie.
Because both of them are similar, okay?
No, I would definitely rather have this one.
I think I would too. As much as I love 2001, it's not the most engaging movie. It's a little bit on the boring side.
Yes.
But even when like he's going in the black hole, it's like, this is like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, there is an argument to be made for that.
I wouldn't even have to think twice. If I got to keep one of those two movies,
Yeah.
it would be this one.
Let me end with the parenting thing.
Okay, make your argument.
And it's, guess what? Similar to stuff we talk about on this podcast. We talk about our spheres a lot.
We do.
There's a good chance we are not going to go into space and save humanity.
Yeah.
But there is a much better chance we can save those we loved.
Yes.
Maybe not even like literally like carrying them out in your arms through a fire, but like other ways of saving them.
Mm-hmm.
Like being there, listening.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie is saying being a parent is saving the world.
Okay.
Taking care of your world, your people, is the simple version of the metaphor of let's go save everyone on this planet type of thing. Because...
So that's what we can do in our sphere to save the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because this movie is saying love is the cure for humanity. It's saying, you know, time and space, all these interdimensional beings, but love is something that's real, that is going to save us after everything else besides science, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, you know, thinking of my kids, like is giving your kids a better life worth never seeing them again? That's the risk he's taking. And kinda, I think it is. I mean, you already said you wouldn't, but looking at stuff in my life, I'm the opposite. I would leave if it meant my kids having the ultimate sacrifice.
Okay, yes, but I guess the only way that makes sense in the context of this movie is if he did not or was not aware of the time dilation effect before he left. Because if he wasn't aware, then I would buy that. But if he was
aware.
Okay, because he was aware, I don't buy that. Because he goes out and he knows that decades are going to pass before he sees them again. He's not making a better life for his kids. His kids are going to be old or dead by the time, you know, whatever he's doing out there is done. So, I think I disagree.
After the first planet, he's about to go back, remember?
Right.
It's like, I'll just be with them. But there's a chance we can find this planet and it will work, you know?
Right.
And so he's like, so then, you know, he goes and does that. I just think, I don't know. I don't even can explain it, but hearing the music gets me emotional.
Oh, yeah.
And it's this whole thing, it's like, what is happening? Like, it's this
it's
father trying to save his daughter as a... I just... In my brain, that's the main thing.
That's interesting. I did not get that.
Which is why the ending is good when he does uphold his promise of seeing her again.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's more than cute. It's profound.
But like the ending, she's what, 90? He's not, he didn't do it for his kids. He did it for humanity.
Okay.
Anyhow, he sacrificed his family, I would say, for his bigger family of humanity. Anyhow, we're not going to agree on that, so that's okay.
But I think part of this is also just a random thought, but like part of the reason I think your students wanted you to watch this so much is because of how much it is a thinking movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, wait a second, time is different there. Like it literally forces you. And even in the black hole in the bookcase, a fifth dimensional being creating a 3-dimensional space of a 1-dimensional moment. Like it makes you think.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It doesn't even, how do you even write that? First of all, how do you even think about it, comprehend it? Second of all.
Yeah, that's why I said the Nolans are brilliant. But yes, this is probably the movie that has made me think the most of any movie I've ever seen. Maybe. I don't know. But it's certainly, I haven't stopped thinking about the various aspects of this movie since I saw it. So yeah, you're right. That's what my students wanted to give me. So thank you, students. So a couple of philosophical things. I thought it's not a lot, but there's a brief discussion about evil and the nature of evil, and I think it's interesting, the idea that there was no evil on their journey. I think just what we take with us is what I think Cooper says that. So the idea that evil is in, like, that we create it or we generate it. It doesn't exist outside of us, and how we use our free will was really cool. So evil originates from free will.
And sorry.
No, that's all. Like
the planet wasn't evil. You're right. That's the thing. It's like we bring the evil.
Yeah.
The evil was, man's bad choices.
Sure. Yeah.
But the ice planet, the water planet, those weren't evil places. Those were just places.
Yeah. So that's certainly something to think about.
Yeah.
Something that I've been thinking about since I saw this. Just the idea that evil isn't out there, and we're not evil or good. Like, that's one of the philosophical playgrounds, is man inherently evil or good. So this movie says neither. Mm-hmm. It's simply, how do we choose to use our free will? That's what becomes or creates or generates evil or good.
You know what's so funny is we talked about that question today in class. Which
inherently good? Or?
Yeah, which I usually say for something else, but it's kind of popped up in Lord of the Flies. But a student's like, I'll ask AI.
No.
I was like, I want to know what AI has to say about it.
So
AI said, the wording, but it says there's good and bad. People are incapable of both, so there's not one answer, or something like that.
See, but that's a frustrating answer, because it's not either or. It's a continuum between the two, and it's also not necessarily objectively answerable. Like, we can't look at a thing that somebody has done and say that's good or evil. It's all contextual. Good and evil is contextual in, like, this is what was going on. This is why they made the choice. This is what they hoped would happen. This is what actually happened. I think there are things that are at both extremes. Like, there are things that are evil, but for the most part, it's a continuum, and it's contextual. And according to this movie, it arises not out of some inner evil or some inner good that we have, but how we choose to use our free will.
So, hold on. Yeah. I have to say, I was like, all right, let's define evil. What are evil things? A student said swimming with socks on.
Oh, I'm evil, man.
Which is so funny. And I can't believe you swim with socks on, first of all.
I hate sunburn on my feet.
But what's so funny, as I brought it up in another class, a student said swimming with socks on, and then a student's like, now hold up a minute. What type of person swimming with socks? Maybe we shouldn't trust that person.
Well, don't tell them that's me.
And then I was reminded, I'm reading this book called The Righteous Mind, which is about where morals come from. And kind of specifically how like Republicans and Democrats can both be moral but have different beliefs and stuff. It's a really cool book, and it has this like moral test that the writer has performed. And there's a specific question which is something like, if a person in his own home like does something, I guess we'll say, very inappropriate, but no one gets hurt technically, is it immoral? And people are like, well, I don't like the thing he's doing, but no one is getting hurt. And it's like, what you're saying is like, it's not simple, basically.
No, not at all.
But I digress.
Well, I mean, it's not simple, but I think it also might be. If we have a concept of free will and how it should be used, then it becomes fairly simple. So, like, for example, my philosophy of free will is you should always make the choice that increases your agency, like your free will, that gives you more free will in the future. And so if that's always what you're doing, then the choices that you make are going to be good in that context, because you're not going to kill someone. That's going to decrease your agency. You'll at the very least have guilt, and you'll be worried all the time that you're going to get caught, potentially go to jail, blah, blah, blah. And so if you're always making the choice that gives you more agency in the future, then maybe that good and evil question is simple to answer. Mm-hmm. But the way that we go about it and the way that we view good and evil in our society is, it's not simple at all. It's very complex. We have entire rooms full of laws attempting to ensure that we do good things and not evil things.
Yeah.
So another philosophy aspect of this is the idea of knowledge. So epistemology is a huge philosophical playground. Like, how do we know what we know? And this movie's got a lot of different at answers. And the one that I specifically picked out was this. Dr. Mann, at some point in his discussion, says, you know why we couldn't just send machines on these missions, don't you?
Yeah, keep going.
A machine doesn't improvise well because you can't program a fear of death. And that's the reason he gives for having to send people on these missions. And I think that's fascinating, because if that's true, then our entire body of knowledge is based on our fear of death. Like, what we've studied, what we've learned, what we've been interested in, how we've acquired it is all based on our fear of death. I'd never thought of that before in my life.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as I've thought through it, like where we have spent our scientific energy, it makes sense. We have extremely advanced medical machinery, knowledge, understanding, drugs. All of that comes out of a fear of death. We study literature. Essentially, when we read or watch movies, we are experiencing other lives, other ways of being and meaning and thinking and whatever. That could very easily be traced back to a fear of death. I'm a finite being. I'm never going to be able to experience X. I read literature so that I can, because I'm afraid that by the end of my life, I won't. And we could go on and on. So, I'm in awe of how profound some of the insights are in this film. So, I thought that was super cool, and I'm still thinking about it, but seems to make sense.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it is, what if we could get outside of that? If we could pursue knowledge that wasn't based in a fear of death. What else is there? That would be amazing. I don't know the answer to that, but I think if we are only looking at this very small slice of knowledge that impacts our life and death, I feel like that's a very limited amount of the knowledge that is available to us. I don't know how you would get out of that, but if Nolan is right here, then yeah, we only know just a teeny slice of what is knowable, which is super cool. Then, in addition to that, like this drive to survive, this movie presents the drive to survive as a generative force or a creative force. Like, we want to survive, therefore we create. And so to tie back to our previous discussion about awe and wonder, I think at least in United States society, one of the reasons why we have lost our wonder and our awe is because we don't have to survive anymore. Like, it's virtually impossible for us to not live to 80 or whatever. We don't struggle every day to survive. And so the awe and the wonder and the noticing things that you've never noticed before isn't really necessary anymore. So if this movie's right, that the survival instinct is a creative force, that's why our lives are so boring and pointless and useless and whatever else we say, because we don't there's no struggle anymore. So in a very real sense, if you want more awe, go find something difficult and struggle with it, and that will potentially reawaken your awe.
Yeah.
So, like, just there's so dang much in this movie.
Reawaken your awe. That could be on a t-shirt. By
pursuing something difficult.
I feel like that part doesn't work on a t-shirt as well. So I'd be remiss if we didn't use auteur theory with one of our great auteurs. But there's maybe not a lot to say necessarily, except for it's clear Nolan has specific interests in mind. Like, he likes to play with time, for example.
Sure.
Memento goes backwards. It starts at the end, ends at the beginning. Tenet literally has characters going forwards and backwards.
Which is so awesome.
This movie has time being warped. Even Dunkirk, which is a World War II movie, has 3 separate stories, but those stories are mixed together at 3 different times. Like, have you seen Dunkirk?
No.
The people on the beach, that takes 1 week. The people on the boats, that takes like 1 day. And Tom Hardy in a plane, that's like only 1 hour of time.
Tom Hardy.
So it's like mixed in together, and it kind of just works somehow. I would also say he's also interested in memory, moral choices under pressure.
Yeah,
that comes up a lot. He also likes to use practical effects, large-scale spectacles, and it kind of feels like, I don't know, even though this isn't technically my favorite Nolan movie, but this is kind of...
What? You evil...
It just feels like Nolan's preference for a large-scale spectacle fused with intimate emotional stakes situates Interstellar as a culmination of his career-long attempt to reconcile blockbuster cinema with philosophical inquiry.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can I get philosophy with the big blockbuster?
Yeah.
This is the movie.
This is one of them, for sure. Yeah.
Right. Because even like...
That's why I love him so much.
Oppenheimer, which is mostly just talking and playing with ideas and philosophy, it's not as much spectacle as this one would be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, auteur theory, it's just kind of like we can understand the person by their movies.
Yeah.
And that's maybe even more... Like, if you ever see, like, a behind-the-scenes... Like, if you look at what Nolan looks like and how he does his hair, it looks like how he does his hair in Inception. Not him, but DiCaprio. So
really?
There's not nothing to auteur theory. Some people scoff at it sometimes, but it's like... You can tell his personal interests a little bit about the man by the movie.
Sure.
Basically. Another thing I found I was looking for lenses, and I saw humanism versus post-humanism. I was like, what's that about? Well, I guess like the values of like what humans value versus what comes after, like in the future. So more specifically, humans, we're all about love. We have families. We like to sacrifice, stuff we've talked about in this episode. We have emotional bonds, yada yada. But the post-humanism stuff, kind of looking at the robots, it's interesting that they're technically AI, like TARS,
Yeah.
and Case is the other one. They are. There's also the fifth dimensional beings, literally post-humans, because that's like, how can humans build this? Well, we can't, not yet, or even like the idea of living on a different planet that's not Earth. But what's interesting about this movie, and especially the robots and stuff, Interstellar reframes some post-humanism ideas. Like, the robots they're not evil. In fact, they're friendly. They're funny. They tell jokes. And it's not something you maybe typically would see in a science fiction movie that has robots in it about the end of humankind. Like, even like, this is another extreme example, Steven Spielberg's AI. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
There's a slight spoiler for it. But there's robots in the near future, in the far future, that look like technology we could never ever come up with in real life. But it's like, oh, they're so far advanced type of thing. But as opposed to this, it's these robots. They have a sarcasm meter. They have, a comedy meter. That's it. Kind of just recontextualizes the idea of what comes after us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, technology doesn't replace humans.
Right. In this film, yeah.
Hopefully it won't. You know what I mean? Like, those robots, they make ethical choices.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did you say? I turned off the automatic parking thing. Yeah. What? Like, apparently I mistrust him more than you do, or whatever. It's like, they're helping the humans save humanity.
Right.
So I guess there's some toying with post-humanity versus humanity.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is kind of cool.
It was very cool.
So I don't know a lot about Dylan Thomas. He's the one who wrote the poem "Do Not Go Gentle on That Good Night," which gets said multiple times.
Yeah.
But apparently Dylan Thomas was kind of like a pop star of his day. In fact, he was also on the Beatles cover, or the album cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. He's one of the faces.
Oh.
So is Bob Dylan, who took his name from Dylan Thomas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
To rename himself. Like, apparently he was just like an icon. But Do Not Go Gentle on That Good Night is kind of the emotional spine of the movie, in a way. The poem repeats a lot of phrases, especially like rage against the dying of the light. And so, he wrote the poem to his dad who was dying, like, do not die easily. And that's what this movie is doing. That's why they're sacrificing. We are going to die, but we're not going to do it easily.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and I've never thought about this with the poem, how usually rage sounds bad. Rage has negative connotations, but in this poem and therefore in this movie, it's got positive connotations, like fight, like be angry, or like rage.
Yeah.
So you don't just turn over and die, humanity. Yeah. Like, the rage in the movie becomes an act of care. Cooper's defiance. I'm just reading now. Cooper's defiance of death is inseparable from love of his children, aligning with the film's claim that love may be a force that transcends dimensions. In this way, Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night transforms Interstellar from a survival narrative into a meditation on human dignity. And to live fully is not to deny death, but to resist its meaninglessness. Which
I like that.
I didn't write. I wish I could write that, but I don't know. It's just a beautiful poem. And there's a reason why I guess Dylan Thomas was a pop star of his day, because he could, like, come up with words. I started watching. I was like, I'll watch this, but it was this 46-minute video on YouTube about Dylan Thomas. But he, like, tried to find the best words for his poems, which all like the greats do, which oftentimes doesn't get like the credit it deserves. But like, you know, how do you become famous by writing poetry? You kind of can't anymore.
You write lyrics for songs.
Right. Now it's something different, but I just like how just we as people will not die. We will do everything in our power to not die.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's beautiful.
So that actually dovetails nicely into the ethics stuff. So Dr. Mann, he's got some just chilling but also very thought-provoking lines about that. So he says I'm going to quote two things. So he says, he being Michael Caine's character, I don't know what his name is, but Michael Caine's character, the old doctor, knew how hard it would be to get people to work together to save the species instead of themselves or their children.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting in the context of the do not go gently. Like, what does that mean? Does it mean do not go gently me? Do not go gently me and my family. Do not go gently me and the people that I know. Do not go. And so one of the reasons why McConaughey's character and Hathaway's characters are so awesome is because their answer to that is no, do not go gently the species. And I'm willing to go myself, but I'm not going easily. I'm going raging. I will fight everything and everyone. I will probably die, which is why the ending pisses me off. I am willing to die. I am able to die. I'm willing. I make that. Anyhow. And then he also says, to kind of flip the idea, he says, we can care deeply and selflessly about those we know, but that empathy rarely extends beyond our line of sight.
Yeah.
And that is chilling to me. But also I believe that's not an incorrect insight. I think as a species, we have a very hard time caring about people or things or ideas that aren't immediately impacting us. And so if we're talking about the evolution of the species becoming better people, I think that's if not the most important thing we need to be focusing on. Is overcome. It's called othering. We've talked about it multiple times. But fighting against othering and the idea that sure, you might be a human being, but you're not my human being. And so you're going through crap or somebody's beating you up or, you know, mistreating you or whatever, but I'm not going to do anything because you're not one of my people is, I think, the core of what we need to do in order to prevent this movie, to prevent the demise of the planet or whatever. And I think Matt Damon's character, I think that's an accurate but chilling and kind of honestly depressing insight into human character. So ethics, the ethics of the other versus the ethics of de-othering. I think if this movie's right, on almost including the Darwinian ethics that we've talked about, we have to start learning how to de-other, because in all of those ethical categories, it's right. And if this movie's correct, it's necessary for us to start. And then just this movie's got some interesting insights into the ethics of lying. So it offers us a bunch of lies. There are a lot of lies in this movie. One of which should have been, I will come back anyhow.
Wow.
Whatever. But it's just kind of fun to because generally if you just walked up to somebody and you're like, is lying good or bad? They would say bad.
Yeah.
But this movie doesn't allow it to be a good or a bad. There's a lot of nuance, a lot of shading. So the main liars in this movie are Dr. Brand, the dad, is our main liar. So he's lying to preserve hope.
Yeah.
He's lying to prevent panic, and he's lying to preserve the species. Because if it got out that, yeah, there's basically, we're all going to suffocate or starve to death, you pick, humanity would be done. Like they would storm hand everything, they would take it all out. So that seems to suggest that there are a number of reasons why lying might be important or good.
Right.
But then we have Dr. Mann, who's our other main liar in the movie. And that helps to offset the potential positives of lying by illustrating, like, he very easily could have ended humanity. Very easily. Like, if the explosion of his ship had not just taken out the one, if that had hit the embryo thing instead of whatever it was they hit, that's the end of humanity.
Yeah.
And so it's not, I love that it's not a lying bad, lying good. It's we need to think critically about how much truth, or to get back to my philosophy of life, how much free will is this piece of information going to give to me, to people I love, people I don't even know. And again, just like with the danger thing, I'm not proposing that we should start lying about everything, but I am suggesting that it's possible that in some instances our gut reaction, that's bad, we may need to step back and think a little more critically about how we view good and bad, and introduce some nuance into how we think about it.
Yeah.
Because anytime, I'll just close with this. Anytime we just go with our preconceived notions or the program in our brain or whatever, and that's how we make our judgments, is problematic. If we're not thinking about the things that we're doing and the choices that we're making, regardless of what they are, that's a problem. We are just following programming, and for most of us, that means following things that we did not put in our heads, and ideas and values and beliefs that we didn't put there. And so, again, my rage against the dying of the light is critical thinking.
Yeah.
As a species, we have to rise to the call of critical thinking. We have to stop just obeying our natural man, our impulses, our drive, like the impulse and the action. We can expect this movie. We can expect the death of the species. We can expect to not have wonder, to not have joy, to not have happiness, to not be able to connect at a deep level with the people that we interact with. We're just robots performing the program that was put into us by whoever it is in the past. Education, religion, parents, whatever. And I'm not saying education, religion, and parents are bad. I am simply saying that we need to start putting critical thinking between the stimulus and the response. That is all. Yeah, fantastic movie. Yeah. Could have been a 5-star movie.
It is a 5-star.
With some minor tweaks.
No change needed.
Editing. But yes, I love this movie.
So here's something I did after finishing this movie.
Cry.
Because they talk about the event horizon, which is a black hole thing.
The edge of the, yeah.
I have never seen the movie Event Horizon, so I watched Event Horizon.
It was pretty crazy.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of silly too, being honest.
A little bit.
I think I was texting.
It's old.
I was texting my friend about it, who's older than I am, and he said it kind of messed him up when he saw it. Like, oh wow.
Oh yeah.
But now it's kind of like, this is kind of goofy, but it's
like 30 years old at this point.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think 97.
7, yeah.
But it's just another space movie that involves a wormhole, and they explain wormholes the same way. And there's like a running joke how that's the only way we know how to explain wormholes.
Because we don't really get it.
Because I think even in your favorite Marvel movie, Thor: Love and Thunder, there's a joke about like
wormholes,
and it's just like Event Horizon. But it's funny that it's like, you know what, I should watch that. they're not really similar at all.
No.
There is a wormhole in both.
Event Horizon's more of a horror movie.
Yeah, it's more horror. I like how they make the spaceship just look evil.
Yeah.
But another movie I wanted to recommend that's slow burn, but also one that you might find boring. It's maybe come up. There's a movie called Ad Astra.
You've mentioned that
I've mentioned it before. It's with Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones. And it's another movie I would argue is about it's about father and son as opposed to father and daughter. But it's a slow burn. It was advertised like it was like an action movie because there's like maybe a scene or two, but it's mostly not that.
I hate when they do that.
But I thought it was beautiful. I thought it's profound as well. It may be similar vibes to some degree as this movie.
Cool.
The space was kind of big for a while again. It kind of, I don't know if it revamped space, but like The Martian wasn't far away from this.
Oh, The Martian's
another movie where
awesome.
Matt Damon needs to be saved in space.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot.
Gravity was also around this, which, once again,
It's
different.
less awesome.
But another space movie that's very visual in a different way. There's a lot of space movies. We like space in movies.
Me too. So I would recommend the Cloverfield Paradox.
I would not recommend
which
that.
I know you hate, and a lot of people hate. But if you like movies that just kind of force you to consider things that you've never thought of before, like, admittedly, it's not a great movie. But it made me think about a lot of stuff that I had not thought about before. So, but yeah, it's not a great movie. You're right.
If you want another slow movie that Dietz hates these movies that makes you think about big things, check out Solaris from 1972
Oh my gosh, do not check
by
out
Tarkovsky.
Solaris. That is not a...
It's another good movie, Dietz.
No. Oh my gosh. I'm editing that out. That is not a good movie. That's a movie that started out as somebody's 15-minute long project in film school, and they're like, why don't we make this into a 3-hour movie? How are we going to do that? Well, let's add 10-minute long shots of friggin' the corridor where nothing's happening. Anyhow, yeah, I mean, you could watch it. Watch Solaris, and then email us who's right.
Yeah. What's the better movie? Yeah, let's do this, Dietz. What's the better movie? Cloverfield Paradox or Solaris?
That's, yeah, okay.
Not the George Clooney Solaris. I've not seen that one.
Yeah, so you can watch both of those and tell us which one you like more. Solaris or the Cloverfield Paradox.
Anyway.
Because both of us hate one of those movies. There you go. So next week, Harry Potter 18 or
6. And this one's interesting. Well, I don't know. You liked 5 and kind of convinced me it was good.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought-provoking stuff in 5.
I'm not a big fan of this next one, but maybe
6?
you'll like it. I don't know.
I don't know either. Is there a lot of stuff to think about?
We'll find out.
Oh, okay.
And then there's 7, which is in 2 parts.
And then we're done.
And then
we
a Deet's
move
choice, and then we'll do the Fantastic Beasts movie.
No.
We gotta watch the Fantastic Beasts so you experience.
How many are there?
There's only 3.
And they're garbage, from what I hear.
You don't talk to people.
I do talk to people.
You don't know people.
Okay. That's because I'm introverted.
I already know what the next franchise will be, but I'll keep it to myself at the moment.
Why?
Yeah, we're a ways away. We got 3 more Harry Potters and 3 more Fantastic Beasts, so we got some time. Anyway.
We love you.
We
Thanks
love
for
you.
listening.
Thanks for listening.
Shout out to my students that made me watch this movie. We love you. Thanks for listening.
Bye.